Every year, the Academy of Motion Pictures and Film Arts bestows upon us a mockery of the American film scene. Except this year. This year, the mockery is of the American film-going public. With the exception of the brazen racism and misogyny of Norbit, the nominees this year really do represent the best that Hollywood had to offer. For Best Supporting Actress, I predict that multiple Oscar nominee Cate Blanchett will play the transgendered card and win for her honest portrayal of a dishonest man, Bob Dylan, in I'm Not There. In the category of Best Actress, I foresee some serious apologetic voting which will net Julie Christie a win for her barely viewed Away from Her, resulting in a late theater comeback for a film that still has crew to pay off. Best Supporting Actor will test the resolve of an Academy that seems constantly torn between its conscience and the truth. Though the field has some very deserving old-timers who may in a few years be up for the Lifetime Achievement Awards, the fact of the matter is that Javier Bardem's coin-tossing terror far surpasses the work of anyone else in this class. The best acting that the cinema has seen in a long time came from Daniel Day-Lewis. What else is new is Daniel Plainview. So don't feel so bad for Josh Brolin. He'll be back on that list in 3 years. Best cinematography goes to the beach scene in Atonement, as does best costume design. And anyone who had to restart their pacemaker like I did for the Waterloo Station scene in Bourne Ultimatum can easily foresee who will win best editing. This year is what we call a split year, where the Academy wants to call a tie, but knows it can't, so what they do is give Best Director to one film and Best Picture to another. The two films that tied are There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men, a pair of exquisite and dark exposés by three of the best directors making movies today. Paul Thomas Anderson, who directed Blood, is almost unanimously despised by Academy members for reasons relating to, I don't actually know. Anyway, they hate him. Whereas the Coen brothers have been an Academy favorite since the mid-'80s and never quite been able to connect with a large enough audience to warrant the big award. But No Country fared well for both audiences and critics. Bottom line is that the Coen brothers are overdue, especially considering the way Fargo and Oh Brother Where Art Thou did at their respective ceremonies. So, considering the politics, I'm going to guess, it sounds weird, that the award for Best Director goes to Joel and Ethan Coen, and the award for Best Picture ends up in its rightful place, covered in $100 per barrel crude oil in P.T. Anderson's living room. Also out this weekend, 5 movies that have as little to do with Oscar as Pauly Shore. Vantage Point is the multiple point-of-view flick that rightfully so gets the most views this weekend, but my eyes go cross every time I think about it. A Ferris Bueller type decides to start selling drugs in school in Charlie Bartlett, but doesn't have enough foresight to be written by John Hughes or come up with a more interesting-sounding name. Larry the Cable Fella teams up with Playboy Bunny and Jim Carrey's Squeeze Jenny McCarthy in Witless Protection, and coincidentally enough, nobody, not even the mob of people who like this guy, were able to find him or the time to see this movie. The best release of the week finds director Michel Gondry recreating the best moments of cinema with Jack Black and Mos Def, and ends up with a movie better than most of the films it references. As a result, the future will see only Jack Black and Mos Def appear in every and all films. And finally, those of you who can't wait until Friday the 13th this year for The Real Deal and M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's The Happening, or those of you who think that this weekend's The Signal is that film, you're going to be in for a grave disappointment and will then begin killing yourselves en masse. This week's assignment, go to the iTunes movie link on cinemapsychic.com and foresee The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Trust me, it doesn't take as long to watch as it does to ask for it by name. That's all this week. Ask for me by name, Charlie Baker, Cinema Psychic. Let me know what you think of the Academy Award results this weekend, and I'll foresee you next Friday. I'm sensing the show is over. I said He's kind of funny, didn't I? Blanchett. Is that what her name is? Blanchett now? Obviously, there were some hiccups there.